Good morning. Just about 12 minutes after the hour of 8. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. I must apologize, I was a little tardy and then I heard we had a technical issue as well. But we are here and we are ready to begin the show. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. We're also on your FM dial at 98.9 if you wish to bring something to the fore or joining on the conversations. Just to remind you of our numbers, our local number is 466-0989, or in the US it's 1-305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984 or 0333-440065 in the UK. Quint, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Can't
I'm
hear
fine,
you.
thank
Oh,
you.
okay, I
And
can
you?
hear you now. I
Yeah.
was just wondering what's going
Well,
on.
I had to make some checks over here, so
Mhm.
my mind is all over the place. Anyway, yes, I'm okay.
All right. So, it's Friday. Don't want to go in too hard. So I just decided I'm going to start soft today. And I'm going to go back to old time things. I think the old time things are always nice to touch. And we spoke about washing some time ago. So I don't know if your parent or whomever you came up with did this. When your white clothes had a stain, they rubbed a lot of blue soap over it.
Mhm.
They might have put a little blue on the stain too, or the Ajax bleach, because we didn't have Clorox then. It was Ajax bleach, and then they hung it over clusters of, as we say, bush, or the small grass that used to grow up like in a round shape.
Mhm.
And I was having a conversation with my mom. I was like, how y'all knew which grass to hang it on, and how y'all did not think that that grass would have caused more stain. She
Yeah.
said she doesn't understand it. I know.
Well, certain things I guess you just carried on because
You saw what
it's
they
a
did
traditional thing. Yeah, I used to see that, but I don't, I don't recall if I paid much credence
to
to it.
it.
Yeah, I don't.
But I was like, how did they know that that would work? But the clothes were whiter. The stain got away because they leave it out overnight for the dew to catch it and or whatever mechanisms they had. And it worked for them with no stain. And then I remember them sometimes washing at the riverside when there was no running water and beating the clothes to mercy
Yeah, I
with
remember
a
that
wooden
too.
paddle. We call it a beater, but I saw when I was looking for it on the internet, I saw it's called a washer paddle,
Mhm.
but we call it a beater in Guyana. So I guess the fact that they're beating the clothes. That.
Yeah,
Good,
we have a caller.
good morning, caller. You're live on Island Tea.
Good morning to everybody once more again. Greetings to you all in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, through faith only, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, as I just said now, as I just said, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth. And the quicker we do those things, the better it would be. I think, I believe. Now, also, you remember some time ago, not so long ago, I said that we don't have to go to be it a magistrate, judge, priest, preacher, pastor, whatever, to get married in God's sight, according to the Bible. Now, I would like to say this in case somebody might misunderstand me. I would like to also say this. I think it would be prudent still to get a government marriage, not to get married in the sight of God, because that is not biblical, but simply for man-made legal reasons. So I'm not saying don't go to a judge. I was not saying don't go to a judge or a priest also to get your government marriage, because that is what the courts of the land recognize, and which is sinfully so, but still that's the reality. And you may have certain man-made issues, legal issues, and you might need that man-made marriage. So I just wanted to clear that up You know,
But don't we have
that
to register with the land? Because we have to get the marriage license first. Although we are married by the church, eventually we still have to go register and then get the license for the land. So aren't in St. Martin they marry in
What
the land and then they marry in the church?
when you say in the land, what do you mean?
Okay, they married with a magistrate,
Uh,
and then they do their church marriage. If they're
oh,
church people
they
afterwards,
marry first
hmm
according to
the
the laws
laws
of the
of
yes,
St. Martin,
of the land.
and then they marry in the church.
And do you have do they have to pay for those things?
Though, yeah, you have to do the norms, the stamps and whatever, just like we have to
Yeah,
do here to
that
get the license.
yeah, that is where I always have a problem
So,
there.
Greg, I not understanding because the wedding that Jesus turned the water into wine, that wedding never said it was a courthouse. That wedding wasn't a church wedding.
the wedding was, like I said, in the Bible. Okay, in the Bible, the man made a covenant with the woman, and the woman accepted it. And you may have witnesses there who you invite to witness the marriage. That's how marriage was done in the Bible, both Old and New Testaments.
So, with the
So
court.
because when I brought it up the last time, I think it was Miss Henry who called in and said, "Well, how you gonna prove that you were married?" That is what the witnesses them were there for, that you made the covenant. So you could call upon them for matter of courts, business, and that sort of stuff. You could call upon, and the Bible says you only need 2 or 3 witnesses. You know, so that is how you show that you were married back then. But today now, and that is still marriage in this sight of God, because the Bible have not changed. But what I'm saying is that, hold on a second. Sorry, hold on. I just had to press the mute button because I had to clear my throat.
Okay.
But what I'm saying that in today's world now, where the courts and the government and so sinfully and wrongly do not recognize the Bible way of marriage, but say you have to come and get the government approval in order to be married.
Which
what
courts
I'm saying
don't
is that
recognize it?
the court does not recognize the way the Bible says marriage is, okay, which is a man making a covenant with the woman. Because if you carry that in court to say that you're married, they ain't going to recognize it. Okay? Even though God recognizes it. But they sinfully are not going to recognize it. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, you still go and get your man-made, your government-made marriage. So that if you have to go to court, you could present that and make a legal case, because that is what they're going
Greg,
to
you're
accept.
confusing me. Don't we have to get a marriage license? Don't we have to go and get ourselves? I remember going to the government headquarters to basically, I would say, sign up to say that I was never married, whatever, my husband was never married, etc., etc. Once I got that ensured that the church could perform the ceremony, which is the wedding day, for the marriage that I will endure until I die, most likely. Let me say it like that. So, after that, the register that the witness and everybody signed the register, and I thought that piece of paper was my marriage license. Mind you, Quint, first time married, ain't know nothing. I went somewhere and the person said, "No, you have to go to the, I don't even know, the health center where they register everything, birth certificates, whatever. Get this registered, get this certificate, and then come back to me with that." So all the time I thinking I have my license. No, I had to get the stuff from the land to say that I am married. So Greg, I'm confused.
No, you're
Yeah, no, those
confused.
are the
You're
things.
confused because you're taking the part where he says the institution or the government does not recognize the man-made covenant, and thinking he's saying the church part of it. But no, he's saying how the Bible put it, if I'm understanding
Right.
him right, is that me and you could get together and say, Hortensia, I love you, and I make this commitment. You say it, and we make this commitment. The government, that is what the government doesn't accept.
Right.
Because technically, I understand, and it's not registered by the land.
Well, that is what he's saying. But he's saying, according to the Bible, that is the way it should be between
Right.
two people.
Right.
And in the African culture back in the day, that is the way it was done, you know.
But don't you make the covenant before God too, Greg? So
That's
I
the
don't
way it was done.
understand.
Yes.
The man and the woman made a commitment, and from the time you entered into
Right.
what you call intercourse and so forth, you were just officially married. This
Right.
thing
Right.
now where you just pick a woman, drop a woman, pick a man, drop a man, that wasn't part of our main African culture. So yeah.
Well, not only that, Quinn. It wasn't part of the world culture in any nation, because that's how it was done historically. The man and the woman come together, and yes, you may invite people as witnesses to say to witness it in case you need to recall and people, and that's how it was done historically throughout most of man culture in our nation, language, tribes, and tongue. This thing now, where the government say, hey, you have to come to us in order for us to make you married, is really a recent thing.
But Greg,
It's a recent thing.
you got married. You didn't have to go through all them things that I just mentioned. I went through.
Yeah, but he's saying
To
that
get
the
me
Bible
man-made
doesn't
marriage.
accept it.
Yeah, but
I don't
Right,
see why you're
because
puzzled,
yeah.
Hortensia.
no,
It's
I'm not. I understand what he's saying now that y'all explained it more clearer. But he's making it look like it's something that just happened. So that's why
Well,
I'm
when he
like,
Just
said
happened.
just, he
This
mean
man-made thing
it's still,
just
it's still,
happened.
it's
how
still a
just
long
not last year.
Hortensia, no, it's a long time, but he means in the history of mankind. Then,
Yes, right.
that's
I'm
what he
speaking
means.
relatively. I'm
Yes.
speaking relatively,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, us making covenants can't work because people gonna walk away and say they ain't in nothing with nobody.
I
But
can
you have
understand.
witnesses, but you have witnesses.
I can
Yeah,
understand.
but the witnesses can say whatever, but people could still walk away because there's
Well,
nothing to
well,
say that
no,
you're
all you need is
joined.
no, all you need is 2 or 3 witnesses
And I get that, but there's
to
nothing.
say yes, we were there to witness this marriage.
Yeah, but
But Hortensia, part of that still exists because if they now have what they call common law marriage.
yeah, after 5
where-
years, things
yeah, so
belong to
it's kind of the
everybody.
same because if 2 people in a common law marriage, one there's a dispute, they're going to do some investigation and neighbors are going to say, well, yeah,
Yes.
so and so and so and so, and then that is the way one or the other is going to win. So yeah, that's clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
You
still,
you see, no, you see, for example, if we say, for example, or you need to have a government approval in order to be married. Well, what about in those places at those times, for example, during slavery, and so when they said black people couldn't get married and all
but
them
that
sort
was
of stuff?
then. This is no.
No,
I don't understand why you're going backwards.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that what is biblical stand up under all conditions. That's what I'm trying to say. What is biblical stand
Okay,
up under
Greg.
all conditions?
Okay, Greg. I get your point. Hortensia is a
Yeah.
bit puzzled, but we
No,
don't
I'm
want this to be
puzzled.
the
I
usual
don't want Greg to be
ongoing.
going back to the back because he backpedaling. Because if that was the case,
Hortensia, please let Greg finish so that we can go on.
So I'm saying the Bible teaches one thing and man go opposite to the Bible. But what I'm saying, still get your man-made marriage for prudence in case you need to go to court, because that is what the courts would recognize.
Yeah.
Also, let me say, Quinn, I don't know if you remember them long time Bible that had marriage certificate in them. Okay?
Yes.
Way back then, all you and the woman had to do was just put your name and the certificate, and that was recognized as a marriage. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that either.
And even the family tree, the Bible had parts in it for those kind of things.
Yes, those kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Yes.
yeah.
A lot of people don't know these things.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
what we go up with, we think it has always been so. But let me say 2 other things very quickly.
Greg,
yesterday-
call back on those. I want to take a
Okay, I
commercial
will call back
break.
on them then.
Yeah,
No problem.
Cool.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Right time, right ride, right now at Horsefoot's Automotive. Buy now or reserve for VAT discount days, Friday, December 12th and Saturday, December 20th, and get our lowest rates ever. Plus, enjoy up to $17,000 on select models. No VAT and no down payment. Drive away with finance with Horsefoots and get free bill of sale, free servicing for 12 months, free registration, free tinting, and even free groceries or gas for 3 months. Because the right time is here for the right vehicle with the right deal right now. Visit Horsefoots Automotive right now. Drive smart. Drive Horsefoots. Terms and conditions apply.
I ain't got no hurricane safety tips now. Well, Skellek got, and together we can weather the storm. So, check this. Prepare for power outages. Charge devices before a storm strikes. Develop a plan in the event that electricity goes. Learn where and how to shut off your home's electricity. Ensure that there are no trees in the lines near you. If you are experiencing low voltage, turn off the main switch in your home. Do not touch wet appliances. Be sure to stay tuned to Skellek's Facebook page and website for updates about the outages and restoration. For emergencies, our contact numbers are 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. I repeat, 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. Remember, with Skellek's hurricane safety tips, together we can weather the storm.
Reliable and responsible. Skellek is here for you. Powering our community.
And we're back on Island T, and I just saw something on Facebook that says we need proper road signs, and then it goes on to say that the tourist is driving the wrong way. No.
We have a caller.
Okay,
Good
caller.
morning, guys.
Morning, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys this morning?
All right. Why are you so
Well-
under the weather?
No, winter is coming.
Oh.
But I'm not under the weather. I'm not under the weather.
Okay.
I was just listening to Greg, right? And if I hear, I'm telling myself, if that's the case, if everybody just have to say, I stand by Quint and I say, I'm married, we married. What's the point of this, thou shalt not commit fornication?
Bye. I give up. I give up.
But if two people are committed, I don't think you should have to commit fornication.
The devil is real, Quint.
Then you don't need that commandment then, because from the Rastaman point of view, once you are having sex, you're married. That's their point of view. And this thing about common law, look me, all this is nothing but nonsense from the pit of hell. Because if you're with a man for 10, 20, 15, 5, these numbers a year that he can't take you in front of a preacher and make your bed undefiled and make you honorable, he don't value you.
I kind of disagree with you, but hey, I'm not even going to go
Really?
there.
No, he don't find you worthy to be called wife.
Look, if
But
I
the law
look,
give you the same right as a wife.
here's how I see it, because I can only speak for myself, okay? I can't speak for everybody else. If I choose you as my woman, I don't go and look for other women. You know, and I'm committed to you. That is the way I've lived my life. I've never had two women simultaneously. That's me.
That's all good and dandy, right? That you committed to that one person. But why can't you make your bed undefiled as the word
know.
of
Well,
God?
why is it defiled? What makes it defiled?
It's defiled
Because
because
you're
you're
not
having
married.
sex outside of marriage.
To me, that's nonsense. To me, it's about two people making a commitment and being honest
boy.
and being honest about it. And being
Let me tell you,
this thing where
no No wonder
So,
the
so,
Bible says
so
the
you
devil
mean,
cunning.
so you're telling me I have to go in front of some people and go to something where I have to pay some stamp duty and some other things to say that this is official, apart from the individual themselves? To me, that is nonsense. Even though I understand where it will be something that you would use in court as an official piece of document to say, okay, we have it documented that you went through this procedure. I think that, okay, look, people go and they go through all this thing about going through the procedure that you talk about, and I hear people getting married 5 times and all that kind of stuff. Legally. Get divorced, then go back to the very same. Then
that still don't make it right.
But that's what I'm saying. So to me, it's about 2 people making a commitment and being honest with it.
Yeah, but Quint,
Because-
if you
because-
love that person and you're committed to that person, why not jot it down legally?
Married
But that is what but hear me again. You all
But the
don't
word
listen.
say you're
Look, you all
And the
don't
word of
listen.
God say your marriage bed is undefiled.
Listen to
Make
me.
it
Listen
undefiled.
to me. You all don't listen. So I'm going to give you the scenario again. I get married to Hortensia. I go through the making the bed undefiled. I go through everything that you all say is supposed to be done. After I've done that, somewhere down the line, I divorce her legally, right? Next thing you know, somewhere down the line, I pick up another woman, right? I marry her legally. I make my bed undefiled. Down the road, I divorce her again. This is happening.
Yeah,
People are
and
getting.
that
So-
is
so
called
that-
committing adultery.
That's what we say. It don't make it right, but that's
But
That
how
is
is it?
called committing
It is.
adultery.
It
That
is
don't
not
mean it's
committing.
right.
It is not committing adultery because you go and you go through what you all say is the legal
I
means.
still alive. You're not
It's
supposed to marry once I still alive.
It's still adultery because God said one wife,
Wife,
one husband.
But
I
that
don't
is
care
what.
If
But
you go and make it, use the paper and make it say, I have 10 wives. In the eyes of God, one wife, one husband.
Yeah.
so here's
Still
what I am.
adultery.
So
That
here's
is why when the Bible said they ask, when the woman, God asked her, where is your husband?
She said she ain't got none.
They ain't got none.
So
because
here's
the
what
people-
I'm-
the people that she was sleeping with other people. None of them was she husband.
So
other
here's
people,
what
none
I'm
of them.
saying.
All
So-
people.
So here's what I am saying. I am saying just like how you say, you go to this legal thing and you get one woman and you're married and you don't go to another woman. I am saying that is what I do. I get to one woman, I'm in a relationship, and it is just that one woman.
Chris, and I understand that, but you could still have that one wife for legal paper documented. That's my wife. What's wrong with that?
But I just showed you the
Quint
scenario
don't
where
seem like he believe in marriage.
I just showed you. Look.
You could still be committed to that one person without doing
Cleo,
it legal. And if you want
Quint's
to
not
keep
getting
it,
married.
But I just showed you. Where.
That still don't justify it.
I just showed you where. You all want to have your cake and eat it, you know. I just showed you where. I just showed you where someone goes through the legal aspect, get married, and they just.
That don't make it right still.
So that is what I'm saying. What makes it right is 2 people making a vow to each other and staying committed to it. That is what I'm
By the
saying.
law of the land and the church.
Look, I don't really give a damn about the law of the land and the church. It's about me and you and what we
No,
feel.
so you got married. So you see Quint ain't getting married, Cleo.
I am married once I'm in a relationship.
No, but you hear what Quint say?
say?
He's married once in a relationship. So Quint believe in the common law way.
No, I never said I wouldn't get married. You all don't listen to me. I said when I was young, I used to think about getting married. It didn't work. I'm glad it didn't work, you know, because I'm glad I don't have to be going through this thing where I was married and next thing you know, even though she's gone on with some other man, you're telling me I'm not supposed to get another woman because you see all the
If you
trap
were
you all
married,
people.
if you were
But it's
married.
nonsense.
Why?
Because I didn't look. A lot of marriages where one person decides to move on. What happened to the other person who didn't want the marriage to end? They're supposed to stay. They're supposed to stay single. So you see the nonsense. So here's the scenario now. Me and Hortensia get married. Hortensia decides, Quint, I've had enough of you. She move on, but I'm supposed to stay for the rest of my life without being able to find love and a partner because she's the one who broke the damn thing. What nonsense are you saying to
you
me?
see, there is a part in the Bible that said the only way you can put away your mate
Is if they cheat on
commit
you.
adultery.
Yeah, that's the only
So
way.
in that case, you can't put away your mate because of adultery.
Look, y'all have too much loopholes in these things. I stand by what I say.
Cleo, give up.
If I'm committed to you, I'm committed to you. I'm not saying that I would not go to this thing where you get married in front of people, but to me, if I'm going to be honest with you, to me, I would do it, but I would do it only because it is accepted in terms of the system. But listen to me. Let me finish. Let me finish. I would only do it because it is a part of the system. But my commitment is to that woman. You understand? It is to that woman, not to the system. Even though I go to the system and the system says officially a thing, I don't really give a heck about the system. I'm concerned with the relationship that I have with that person.
But Prince, and that was my point. If you're committed, you said you're committed to that person. That's why I asked you, why wouldn't you do it the legal way?
Yeah,
Because you're
get
committed
married,
to
yeah.
that person. No,
Cleo.
if I'm committed, it's just like that's what I say. If people who are with somebody for 10, 15 years, if they're committed to this person, why cannot they make them
married.
honorable?
Okay, but hear this now. Let me kill your scenario, right? I've known people been married for unmarried for 10, 15 years and everything seems to be going good. And people say, you need to let him put a ring on the finger, or they say to the man, you need to put a, and they go and they get married and it doesn't last 2 years after the marriage.
Quinn, you know why it don't last after that?
Why?
Because when they're out there in committing the sin, the devil didn't mind. But when they go and they make it right,
Yeah.
Satan do not
He
trouble
attacked
who he
them.
have
Hear the
already.
excuse
When
now.
he don't have you, he
But
leave
it's
you
not an
alone.
excuse, it's the
As soon
truth.
as-
Hear the
when he
cop
has
out
you,
now.
he leave
No
you
cop
alone.
out.
As soon as he
No
don't
cop
have you,
out.
that's when he come for
Fellas.
you.
Exactly.
He was comfortable with them being in
fellas.
sin.
Exactly.
Fellas, I've just proven a point that has been
What
around
point is that?
since the
Quinn, you
creating
didn't
of
prove
man.
no point.
Here,
Quinn,
here,
you didn't prove no point.
Here's the point, fellas. You will never win an argument with women because they're gonna keep changing the goalposts. You
We
understand?
ain't changing it, you know. Cleo, we going according to the principles of the situation, right? We ain't changing nothing.
I just killed their argument
No,
about
not a
that.
thing or so. You feel so?
I'm sorry, but no. Satan will let you stay in that relationship comfortable because he already got you.
Oh, so you
But as soon
blame
as you
Satan
try to
now.
move,
Okay.
It's just like somebody, right? Listen,
That's
Quinn.
true.
Poor
It's just like
Satan.
somebody-
Poor Satan.
Quinn, it's just like
Satan
you
ain't
live
have
your
a thing
life
to do
all-
with this.
Listen
It's the
now, Quinn,
unfaithfulness
it's
of
just like
one or two of the individual.
Quinn.
Ain't not a thing to do with no Satan.
Quinn, listen, it's just like you live your life. You're not saved. You live your life. You do as you like. But as soon as you say, I'm going to give my life to Christ, here come all the trouble. The portal of trouble open up. Because when you're in sin, Satan do not trouble you. He already have you.
Well,
But
I'm
as
gonna-
soon as you come from under him, that's when he attacks.
Attack you straight, because you vex
Oh,
you
oh
gone.
boy. Sorry, I went to engage another caller and I accidentally cut you because I didn't have the conference button on. Sorry about that. Hello, caller.
Good rising, guys.
Yes.
Okay. Your money.
Good rising to the listeners.
Yeah.
Quint, temper, Quint, temper.
I don't have any temper. You don't hear me laughing. What is this about temper? I'm tough skinned. This to me,
Okay,
this
Quint,
is very
Quint.
entertaining.
Quint, you know, the sister in Connecticut, she says the Bible says one wife, one husband. But here's the thing now. Let us look at the text in the Bible. Now, David was a man after God's own heart. And David slain Uriah and took his wife. And God sent, I think it was Samuel, to talk to David. And God said to David, why did you kill Uriah? Why did you kill Uriah and took his wife? Had you wanted another wife, I would have given you one. Now, what was what was African culture? Polygamy. God condoned polygamy. The Vatican, the Church of England, condemned polygamy. God condemned homosexuality.
But when you say polygamy, again, we must remember, and it goes for me too, that when we say certain things were a part of African culture, we don't mean all of Africa. It might have been prominent in one part and not prominent in another part, and so on and so forth. So go ahead.
Yes, Quint. But the point I'm making, right, we gravitate to the literature, to this book. The book that was given to us by those who claim they translated it in the King James Version. What I am saying, Quint, I'm looking at the texts that are here, there, and everywhere in the book. The church today, the Church of England, the Vatican, condone homosexuality when God in Sodom and Gomorrah condemned homosexuality. Now we have to look at what was written and by whom it was written by. And this is my point, because all of what we have in this book have taken us away from our culture, our spirituality, our trade, and our being in harmony with nature. You guys was talking earlier about laws of marriage, common law, maritime law, but we have been taken away from the laws of nature and the laws of the universe. So where are we? We are a people who have lost our identity and have adapted psychology in the literature of the writers that give us this very book that we have gravitated to.
The thing, Journey, is that to me, from my perspective, what I see is that we might not want to admit it, but we are a people who are easily adapted to what is in the majority. If the majority is doing something, even though yesterday it was a wrong thing, if the majority starts doing it, it becomes the right thing, right? For instance, let's look at the culture today with these young men with their pants halfway down their buttocks. Why is that? Because they see it in the hip hop culture, and it is a popular thing, and a vast number of men are doing it, and most of the young men now don't have the will within themselves to stand and say, well, no, I don't like that, and I'm going. They feel they have to conform, because if they don't conform, then they will not be accepted. It's not about individual being able to say, this is what I feel good about. In their heart, they might not feel good about it, but they will do it because enough people are doing it to make it seem like it is right, because everybody else is doing it.
Quint, right is right if one person does it. Wrong is wrong if 1 million people is doing it.
I agree.
I said something earlier, Quint. When the scripture spoke about the enemy that took Jesus when he was tempted for 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, and he took him on a pinnacle, and he showed him all that glitters, and he said, if you bow down and worship me, all this would be thine. We are going along with what glitters, and we fail to recognize. Now, bear in mind, Quint, our culture and our spirituality within the continent of Africa did not start with slavery. It started with kingdom and queendoms. And the explorers, Quint, when they came and they saw what was in our kingdom and our queendom's king, Quint and Cotensia, in their mind, they wasn't even concerned with what was in the kingdoms. They were concerned about where was the mind. When they saw the gold, the diamonds that was in our kingdom on the continent, they weren't concerned about what they saw there. They were concerned about the mines. These were the first encounter of the explorers that came to rave and weep. Now, Quint, I'm going to share something quickly with you guys, and I want the sister
I want
in
you to be.
Connecticut to listen to this.
I want you to be brief because I'm due a commercial
Yes, Quint,
break.
I'm
I
gonna be
should have
brief.
taken it, but
No,
I engaged you.
quickly,
So
Quint.
yeah.
In the scripture, Hezekiah was about to die. King Hezekiah was about to die. And the scripture said that God sent back the sun 10 degrees backwards, so Hezekiah. And a king, now I'm going to speed this up because you asked me to be quick. There was a certain king that came to visit Hezekiah when he heard he was sick. This is in 2 Kings chapter 20. I want other people to go and read it. And the Hezekiah, after he recovered from his illness, he opened up his kingdom to this king that came from a foreign land. And then God sent Isaiah and asked King Hezekiah, what did the foreign king see in your kingdom? Hezekiah said, there was nothing in my kingdom, my gold, my jewelry, that the foreign king did not see. When the explorer came into our space, Quint, our heart opened up to them, not knowing the subtlety that was in their heart. The scripture is us. We need to see what is hidden in plain truth, Quint, and we need to wake up and move away from turning the other cheek, because the psychology that they give us, pray for those that despise you. Lay your treasures up in heaven while they create theirs on earth by exploiting what belongs to you. And Quint, I'm going to leave it there for now because you asked me to be brief.
Yes, but you want
But this
if you're honest, you've been on for a while, and remember
Yes,
you
Quint.
you carried on after the lady, which I wanted to take a break after her, but since your line was lighting up, I didn't want to have you waiting, so I engaged
Got you, Quint. I
Yes.
got you. And
Okay.
I'm going to try and get back in to continue on this if you will allow me. But yeah, I'll pause for now.
Okay, cool. Let's take that bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here comes the Mega Ball. You could win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4 and you could get all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. Now you can win more with the Mega Ball. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with the Pick 3 and a big $10,000 with the Pick 4. Don't wait, play today. Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide.
You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Must be 21 and over to play.
Campari, Red Passion, embrace the mix.
Campari Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari!
Campari Red Passion, embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
And we are back on Island T. And as we continue along, I was mentioning earlier that I saw something on Facebook that someone posted. It says, because of the lack of signs, the tourists are driving the wrong way, because the tourists look like they entered, you know where you exit the ferry terminal on the Bay Road, where the buses are? The tourists entered there. So they're saying because of the lack of sign, the tourists are driving wrong, and I can understand that. But I mean, you see the person though, you not flag them down and tell them turn around, they're going the wrong way. Why would you allow them to continue?
It depends. It depends, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes a lot of people who come to our country, the most of them, they will listen to if you try to give them direction. But sometimes, and I've seen this, some of them come and they're very prejudiced. So when you're trying to tell them something, they will willfully ignore you. They look at you as if like, and they willfully go ahead.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing from the video that I saw, it's just a video that was taken and posted. Whoever took it can tell me differently, but it didn't look like anybody tried to flag down. Now, if they had tried and he didn't stop, then we could go with that.
I hear you on that
synopsis you
instance,
just
but I'm
gave.
saying there are instances. I hear you on
I
that
get that,
instance.
and I know
Yeah,
that. But if
okay,
we could
yeah.
prevent that, that's all I'm saying. Because the person's going to come out the wrong way where buses and other things are going to enter, and then we're going to have a problem. People
And
are
I
going to be
agree.
hurt.
And I agreed with you. I said mostly when you flag them down and you say, "Hey, you're going the wrong way," they will adhere, right? But occasionally, man, I've seen one or two who come and they're just so prejudiced that they just bullshit ahead. Like, who the hell are you to, you dark skin colored person to be telling me what to do? So but the majority of them, they are accommodating.
Yeah, so let us not just post, let us try to say something.
Hello,
to them.
caller.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Hey,
We're
how are
fine,
you,
we're
ma'am? Good, thanks.
Fine. I know oftentimes on this program, we talk, a lot is being talked about the land, the development in Nevis. So I happened to see a video from Mark Brantley, I think from his weekly show, and he spoke to the fact that people who are talking about this land, most of them are being racist, and how people leave Nevis over 40 years and gone to white America. So I would just like to hear the callers weighing on this because it seems a little interesting.
Well, why should we win? Mark does that all the time. And you see, when we jump on that, he wins because he takes the issue away from he's supposed to be running the country properly to benefit the people. Let him jump off on every other tangent.
But
That is of no
caller,
consequence.
What he's saying to me in that era doesn't make sense. Because remember, 40 years ago, they didn't have all this development. They didn't have all these investors, etc., etc. So you can't wrong people 40 years ago, because I saw it this morning too, so I'm glad you brought it up. You can't wrong people from 40 years ago who wanted to do better for themselves.
But you say how they leave that land and the kitty cat. I hear the expression.
But caller,
Oh, boy.
caller, with all due honesty, when you elect a person, do you elect them to be saying all of this nonsense or to run a country?
Of course not.
Okay, so I rest my case.
Okay. But
Okay.
I get the impression he almost sounds like somebody who may like he about to leave and he don't really care what he say. That's how he coming off.
I don't
to me
think he's
because-
ready to leave. You
it's
didn't
up
hear
to him.
you didn't hear the comment when he said when the big bad blue machine comes out, what's gonna happen? I don't think nobody's
Maybe
ready to
that,
leave
but
power.
Anyway, I continue to listen.
All right,
Okay,
hon. Thanks for
okay.
calling. Have a good day.
Yeah, I'll leave that alone. I mean, you see, I said years ago, I used to support Mark. It seems that when you support him, and this is what happens with a lot of people. When you support them, they don't have a problem with it, but they feel they're supposed to. Let me use this scenario. I am a man. I have a woman, right? She believes in me. She has faith in me, right? But I take her for granted. Every time we go out, I embarrass her in front of the public. I may cuff her in front of the public, and people say to me, Quint, that is bad, Quint. You shouldn't be doing her that. But because I know that she favors me, and she's not doing anything as yet, we go home and I beat her up and that kind of stuff. I abuse her. But when one day she decides I've had enough, and she goes and she says, he's been abusing me for years, right? All of a sudden, I come up with all kind of nonsense, and I never admit to the fact that I was doing wrong all the time. But she was so in love, so enamored that she accepted it. But now she has decided, whether by maturity or proper advice or whatnot, to move on. So I should be able to say, okay, did I do something wrong? Would I sit back and say, boy, I mean, she was really a good woman, she did the things that a man expected, and I should have. No, I don't do that. I say, oh, she's a dirty thing, she gone and she trusty body all over the place. But that ain't true. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't have time. When we were supporters of Mark, he loves us. But now that we are not supporting him because after all these years he has not shown us any promise, any good signs of progression, he vexed with us. Well, he can be vexed with us. He has been abusing us for too long.
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Phew.
Any comments? Any good?
Hello, caller.
Yes, hold on.
Morning, guys.
Yes, good day.
How are you guys doing?
Fine, thank you, Huzzy.
All right. Quinn.
Wait a minute there. Where's your wife? Let me tell her come on the phone there a second.
I didn't hear you.
When I hear the Huzzy voice, I can understand why you hold on to him so long. You know that deep voice. Go ahead, Huzzy. Go ahead.
Quinn.
Yes.
You're an engineer, right?
Yes, I am.
And even ever since you was growing up, that was your passion, right?
Yes, it was. Even before I knew it,
As well as mine.
Yes.
We are the best at what we do.
Yes, we are.
Okay? And I listen to Journey all the time.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to say this. You see, you and me and Journey are well-learned, well-read people.
Yes.
We use other people's literature to become the best at what we are.
Yes.
We read other people. We didn't write any books.
No.
We read other people engineering books, electrical books to get where we are, but we use it with a passion and we did the best we can with it. Right?
Yes.
To be where we are. Now, I listened to Johnny just now, and I see Johnny is well-learned, well-read, but very blinded.
Yes, to some extent.
Right? Now, the Bible is a storybook to a guide to our life. Human, period. I don't care if it came from the Maccabee book. I don't care if it came from the African people. We all know what is right and wrong. We all know the difference between right and wrong.
Yes.
So why you keep beating up on somebody's guide? It's a storybook. He read the stories all the time. Why don't he understand?
But I think sometimes what he's trying to do is that he understands, but he's trying to get others to understand. But sometimes, as I've said to him, he doesn't know exactly how to get it across. So I think that is a bit of his weakness.
Anyway, Quinn, you guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah, same to you.
Thank you.
Take care. Yeah. Journey has still a way to go. I think sometime, and I think when I was younger, I was at a stage where Journey is now, where I was kind of, when I saw the history and I dug into the history and I was kind of angry, but then I had to let go of that anger to the point where I did not let it mess up me and where I would go. You understand? And that is where Journey has got to reach. Yes, we can be agitated and angry to a certain point because of what they did, but we cannot be too inflamed with it that we let it override and overrule all of our emotions. Okay? But I think Johnny will get there because he listens, and one who listens will learn. Okay? So let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The holidays just got a whole lot brighter with the new $5 Holiday Stash Scratch Ticket. It's easy to play, packed with $1,000 prizes and many chances for you to win big this holiday season. So go ahead, treat yourself, spread some cheer, and stack some cash. Play Holiday Stash today at Caribbean Lottery agents and vending machines island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Please play responsibly.
the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back. Cortens has stepped away for a second or two. Let me go to the phone lines. Hello, caller. Okay, missed that call. And to Journey, if you're listening, don't take it hard when we, try to guide you along a certain way. I understand where you are because, like I said, I've been there. The individual who just spoke is someone I grew up with in the same village, Connery, growing up, and we know each other. We know of the journey we had. We know of our life and how we lived our life in a way that we are where we are today. And he's trying to say something that I sometimes feel when I hear Journey, but I don't say it because I understand that we have to kind of guide people gradually along. But what he's trying to say, Journey, is do not be so angry at what has happened in the past to where you let it override your emotion, where you get too passionate, and it can sort of be a handicap as opposed to being something that you use to motivate you to move forward. Okay, this is why you find sometimes. Let me put it this way: because of the things that people have done to us, we can't give the impression that we want to be like a tit for tat, because we won't get anywhere. What we want to do is to be aware to the extent where we enlighten others and we let those who think that they can carry on that same abuse today, we look them right in the eye and they say, no, it's not going to happen. If you think it's going to happen and you try to make it happen, there will be some consequences that I don't think either of us are going to like, so leave it alone. So that is what he was trying to say. Hello, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm all right. Let me say quickly, right? If what is said, Mark Brantley said, is correct, because I don't know, I didn't hear anything or whatever, right? That is a serious thing, and it needs to be addressed.
Well, I won't address it. I won't address it. Who wants to address it?
No, I'm not saying that you do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, generally, it needs to be addressed. Because how do we get off with a dark-skinned man who look like us saying that they are the lead politician, going to refer to his own people as being racist? He doesn't know what it is to be a racist.
That is a good question.
So you want to tell me that the people of Nevis, if they're speaking up because they see impending danger, they are wrong for doing that, and they're going to be branded as racist?
Well, I don't think he means, caller, I don't think he means, I don't think he means, wait, I don't think he means his people, I think it's geared towards specific people like me, because maybe after he heard, some of the things I've said, maybe he listened to some of my shows, and because he doesn't take it in full context, because that's what they do, he run away with a little piece here and a little piece there, and then he feels that he can just spew it. That is what I feel.
You're only one person. Do you think that was said to you?
I said to people like me. I said to people like me. I'm not the only one who comes down. So to those who are against him, who are in a public or so other forum and say things against him, I don't think it's to the masses of the people, because he takes the masses of the people for granted. But for whatever reason, there are few people who gets under his skin, and those are the ones he's trying to lash out at.
But honestly speaking, whether a few are the majority, he should not say that.
I agree.
If this was in another country where he might have said something like that to his people, he would have been out of office.
I agree.
There would have been demonstration long time to put him out. You understand? No, you don't say that. Whether it's to 1 or 2 or the majority, a premier, a leader, so to speak, is going to say that about citizens of the Federation or his land.
But caller,
I'm talking about persons leaving and going to America, to the same white man country.
Yeah.
I don't know if that includes you. I don't know if you left and you went at some point.
Well, I was there. I was there in my younger years as a boy, as a teenager. But then I came back, finished high school here. And I've never been back again. So that doesn't include me. But Carla, haven't you heard the statement where he said it is impossible to build roads and do infrastructure and so forth? Have you heard that statement?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, so if he can make that kind of statement, what else do you expect from him? If he can make that statement to his people, saying it is impossible to do what he was elected to do, how you expect anything else from the man?
Yeah, but I mean, but the racist, it shows that either he's pretending or he's suffering from an identity crisis. Because I mean, this last one about this racist thing speaks to the person itself.
Mm-hmm.
The one about the roads and so on, that to me more speaks to policies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether he's telling the truth or not, because a lot of them, when they're inside, I mean, maybe they think that the money is theirs to do as they like. Because there's so much money that's gone through, and you're not seeing anything, and you know.
Yeah.
But our people who went to America and all those places, right? Well, he needs to be reminded that all of this happened because those same Europeans came to these parts and sucked the lifeline out of these territories.
Yeah.
It's our sweat and blood and
Cheers.
our life practically, our resources that has built England and various parts of Europe and America.
Yeah.
You understand? They are benefiting from that to this day. That's why I say they don't own anything. And when we're talking about we're going to them and to beg for money and whatever, it's ours. It belongs to us. Nothing they have is theirs. Everything they have is us. Because that's what we have was the springboard for where they are now. So I don't know why he's talking like that. So if our people went to those white men countries, and so you go up there, you can't do as you like. You can't even go up there and build a school to say you're going to school your black children. They're not going to allow you to do it. But they come here under the guise of whatever, and all of these external, what they call universities or colleges or whatever you call it, foreign schools, they now have their own school, preschool, primary school. I think one they say have high school. Where? So whose office is the commander? Do they just fall under our local Ministry of Education? Or are they running their own thing? You can't do that over there. So when they're talking, you can't go over there to set up no enclave. You can't go over there and do as you like. Look at what they did to Wall Street. The people minding their own business, and they went and they burned them down. They flooded out a lot of these black communities. But you're talking about an enclave to come to Nevis, with the intention, I guess, to spread wherever. And she doesn't see anything wrong with that. They want to have their own law, their own jurisdiction, their own legal system, their own everything, and nothing is wrong with that. And finally, before I go, I think it was this same radio station, I made mention of it some years ago. I was going through a magazine, and when I came to the center of it, I think they call it the centerfoil.
Yeah.
This is what I saw. I made mention of it. I don't know how many people took serious attention to it. I just passed over their head. And this is the caption I saw written across that center pages. The new face of the Caribbean. And when I looked at the photo, it was a beach scenery type pic. And I saw two persons sitting on the sand, their back turned to the lens of the camera. One of them, of course, was a Caucasian, full-fledged Caucasian. The other, to me, looked mixed. And quaint, I looked at those two pages. I searched with microscopic eyesight to look to see if I see anyone who looked similar to me, you, and others. And I found none. That was very concerning to me, and I made mention of it. No, I keep saying, everything is interconnected. This was many years ago. Now, you see what happened to us. 2020, 2021, this was not a freak of nature. This was premeditated, and until today, we have people who are falling out. They are losing their lives. Some are crippled and everything. And right now here, we have teenage children in school and so on, male and female, who will not be able to give birth when time comes for them to get children. There are those who right now here who have taken it, gotten pregnant, and they have miscarried. They're not going to get any children. The elderly who are there to guide and instruct, they are now passing off, so we don't have anybody to guide us. And the younger ones, maybe the middle age and so on, a lot of them now are crippled and they are leaving. Nobody has come back to say anything. And just like what is happening with the SSV over Nevis, is the same thing that happened 2021. Our people were pushing it against our own people in the light of what those ones who were responsible were saying, because they were telling us what was going to happen. And we down here, some of them down here, saying, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not this, it's not that. Just like what we are now hearing with this SSV. Now, I have already mentioned, you see the Southeast Peninsula, that is going to be developed, but not by us. Nevis, if that one come through, you all are going to see what happens if persons live long enough. Maybe you and I may not live long enough to witness it, but you're going to see what is happening. They have taken control, so to speak, of the seabed and whatever, up to a certain extent and whatsoever. See it spiritually. All of this thing is falling into place. These things, the results we are not going to see overnight, but they are generational. They are generational. The new face of the Caribbean, according to them, does not include us. And that is why 2020 happened. Have a good day, Quint.
Okay, same to you. Let's take a bit of a, okay, that call has gone. Let me take a bit of a commercial break and I'll be right back.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Here are your Hornsford's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running October 30th to November 12th.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Pearl Mill Pancake Mix is just $11.99. Essential Everyday Vegetable and Canola Oils, $13.99 each. Pearl Mill Pancake Syrups, $13.99. Langus Cranberry Juices, $11.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese Bars, $7.99. Essential Everyday Fries, just $14.99. And now, our very low weekly
Value Deals! IGA and Essential Everyday Peanut Butter, Creamy and Crunchy, $8.99. IGA Essential Everyday Salad Dressing, $9.99. Mueller's Dry Pasta, $5.99. Hammer Toothpaste, $14.99. Hammer Deodorant, $8.99. Extra Liquid Detergent, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
And we're back, and Hortensia, there's something you want to play?
We're gonna play it so everyone can hear the correct words of what the premier of Nevis said on the mark on his weekly show. Give me 1 second. It's not.
Of Nevis, for example, that there's a cohort of Nevisians and Kititians who have the nastiest things to say about this proposed development and the proposed investors. And frankly, the comments have been racist. All these things about white people this, white people that. And the thing that shook me and continues to strike me as exceedingly odd is that 99.9% of them cussing white people left Nevis, a black country, and moved to America, a white country, where they now live and have lived in most cases all of their productive lives. Now make it make sense to me, please. Make it make sense to me that if you so love black people, you so love this little Nevis, that you kinnicat yourself out of Nevis 40 years ago, and you've settled in the great United States of America, and then you said to Nevis, do not let no white people come in to invest in Nevis. If, for example, that there's a cohort.
Kitty cat.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Kitty
like
cat, kitty cat. I have to get that word again.
You're not familiar with it, huh?
No.
Well, we down here in St. Kitts Nevis, we are familiar with it.
So I mean, take up yourself and go.
Like you skin over yourself, kitty cat, like aquabats. You know when you go and you see aquabats spin over, that's what you call kitty cat.
Okay,
So
okay.
you spin over yourself. You know what I'm saying? So let me see if I can go to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Quinn. Constance here.
Good day.
Morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Let me first thank Quint and what's his name? Gil. For
Greg.
Greg.
Yeah.
For reintroducing me to old school reggae. Ernie Smith.
Yeah, Ernie Smith. Yeah, that is a big song, you know. That is as we fight one another over the power and the glory, the kingdom goes to waste. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, and the part where he says, can't build no dreams on for some
And if and buts.
you know, care who do it. That's no. Just so that's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a really powerful song.
Powerful song.
Right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think my neighbors must be tired of me because I played it, that, and, you know, Peter Ashbourne and Peter Tosh.
Yeah.
You know, Heptones.
Yeah, man, those are the songs we grew up on. Yeah.
Yeah. But listening to man, and if any politician need to be out of here, it's him. Could you imagine him saying those things about people who migrated in the first place?
Yeah, well.
You know, it's unimaginable, right? It shows a contempt for your own.
But hear this, Mr. McMahon. If we go back over a lot of what is Mark is saying, you realize we don't hear him defending his own people the way he's defending them?
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I suspect it's a hangover for when he was foreign minister and when he used to do so much traveling. And to some extent, I think the current government ministers, some of them at least, the Prime Minister included, is afflicted by the same disease.
Hold a second there. Hello, caller?
Yes, good morning to you guys, man.
Okay.
Good morning to you, Constance.
Morning, bro.
Morning.
You're going to let Mr. McMahon go ahead?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, I'm saying they're afflicted with the same disease in that they go overseas, they knock heads with these, you know, movers and shakers overseas, those big and powerful countries, rich countries, they kind of live the same lifestyle for a time, and they get mesmerized.
Yeah.
You know, they get all starry-eyed, and they come back, and instead of trying to apply best practices here, what it seems they're trying to do is emulate those places. We have a particular identity, okay, and we should preserve it.
Yes, we should.
Right? We should modernize, of course. We should develop, but we don't have to adopt wholesale those people's ideas, values, and places. Right? We don't have to do what we're doing now to the Fort Thomas hotel site. We don't have to build no SSD with so many people whose values are going to be different to ours.
Yeah,
We can develop without doing that.
I agree.
We don't have to. We've had Four Seasons, we've had the Marriott, and we've had Hyatt and those places. We are developing, okay, without having to sell our souls to
The highest
outside
bidder.
influence.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and it really shows how, if they had any kind of consciousness about self, how it has been eroded. And that is so unfortunate. And what's unfortunate, too, is the fact that they have their backers, you know, no question about that. There are some people in the Federation who, regardless of what they do, how they lead, or where they're leading us, even if it's straight to hell, we'll follow them.
Well, caller, that happened in Germany, you know, and you see what happened. Hitler, even though there were those who knew in their hearts that what he was doing was, you know, was not right, they just followed him, and you see the consequences.
And that's exactly, and that has been the situation, I think, for a long time, where we do not vet our leaders enough. We don't really question their values and principles and so on, and we just follow them. And as a result, we usually end up in a bad place.
Yeah.
Right? I am hoping that, well, certainly for next election and going forward, people would really stop and think as to exactly what we're and what we're doing and where we're going. You know, don't just listen to the music and the swan songs that they're going to bring and the promises and so on, but stop, think, and ask hard questions, right?
Yeah.
And not be so knee-jerk in way and quick to put our vote where we would normally put it, okay, based on things like, well, our ideological outlook and how our parents voted and those sorts of frivolous things,
Yeah.
or superficial things. We're the most serious, because this world ain't getting no easier, you know.
No.
We got to be serious about what we're doing, right? And so we should stop and think about exactly how we're gonna put our vote, whatever they come with. Listen, but think for ourselves and decide. Well, is this the kind of country we want?
But Mr.
Do we
McMahon,
really want to be?
But Mr. McMahon, sometimes even that makes me cringe, because when I listen to someone waiting in the vanguard to take over, and I hear their rhetoric, I'm concerned. Like, for instance, yesterday, the rhetoric, you know, I'm concerned. But hold a minute, let Burl come in now. Hello, Burl?
Yeah, quit, man. I'm not gonna lie. You see these discussions you've been having here in this allergy, man, I just hope and wish these politicians would listen. Like you said, listen and you'll learn something. Whatever Mark Mahon has said just now, totally on point. These politicians, they do not really care where we're heading. On Nevis, it's not like a land grab for the developers. It just seems like it's a money grab for only specific individuals. The premier, by all means necessary, He is promoting this project and he's pushing this project. He's not listening to the people. And I'm going to tell the people of Nevis and St. Kitts, he is not going to listen either. And he's not going to stop. So the voices of the people is not going to be respected. You guys will be surprised to see how quick this Destiny project gets in front of the Prime Minister for the Prime Minister to sign off on. He's not listening and he will not listen either. As a matter of fact, the clip that Cortesia just played, that is very discriminatory to some part of the segment of the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, us who's out there in the diaspora. We are out here because of opportunity. You know, whatever situation was underground, when somebody like me left in 1985, when opportunity comes, it's always sometimes good to take it. If you miss that opportunity, it may not come back around. I see me and my family as political refugees when we left Nevis. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that my father paved the way for us. And to see where my family is right now, I'm thankful for that. We, the people in the diaspora, cannot just be citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis only to run home on them jet planes and them free flights to come home to vote. We ought to be worth more than that. And you know what? You know where I push for people like me to be able to have the right to put our name on the ballot. That's one of my biggest things. But we can go past that today. Mark Brantley, he got to be careful how he's talking to people, and he made some other comments about he don't really care about what people think about him and say about him. But this project that he's pushing and trying to bring to Nevis, it has a lot of opposition because that conflict of interest, Quint, I want you. Well, you don't have to do it because I know you know already. Persons have to realize there are a lot of conflict of interest with this stuff. But Mark, as a lawyer, he's trying to prove to people otherwise. The man needs to stay on the side of the people. Because if you don't, you're going to get voted out. And I'll keep listening to McMahon, man.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. What concerns me is the fact that, and you mentioned it, Quinn, that so many other politicians seem to share that, can't even call it a vision, that idea that, well, our federation needs to be like a Dubai, right, or Monaco, or one of those principalities, right? I mean, is that really what we want? If that's what we want, if that's what the majority wants,
but that should
fine.
not be. But that should not be what we want, because it will. Let's use a hypothetical, right? If that was to happen, the kind of input that it would take to do that would take power completely away from us, the people.
Completely away from us.
And then we would just become subservient. They
They
can't
don't
see
seem
that?
to care.
They can't see that?
No, but I believe
But
they can
look at
see
this.
it,
On
but
the
they-
other
they
side,
regard it,
he
Cotton
might
said,
say
no.
that the opportunities that those who left 40 years ago, Nevis didn't present to them. He's presenting them now to the youths, as he said, when they come out to school or universities and looking for jobs.
But at what cost, Cotton here?
But
At what cost?
Cortensia sometimes amazes me. You know, I
No, I
wonder.
just mentioned
wonder
something.
if
I
she's
have
being.
to-
I would like to hope that she's being devil's advocate, right? Because what we just said is that once you have that kind of a large scale development, the kind of money that goes into it, they're going to determine.
people.
And I
Yes.
know that, but I'm just
Yes.
saying, I was just being, as you rightfully said. No, there are no opportunities there. We don't want people running away like they did 40 years ago. So here, this is what I'm presenting to you, opportunities. That's what I meant.
But it doesn't make any sense. And to speak of that, he says, let it make sense to me. Let it make sense to me. I mean, to me, Mr. McMahon, he's trying to pick up on a phrase that the young people are using
Make it make
very,
sense.
very fluently. It's very popular these days. But let his position make
Look,
sense to
when,
us.
When our people went overseas, in search of opportunities. They did so, and a lot of them, I'm sure, well, I don't know about a lot because I don't think it has been quantified. Okay? There's no empirical evidence, but we do know that some of them returned and invested in the country. And they certainly did not change the country that they went to.
Yeah.
This is quite different.
The caller before, the female caller before, she summed it up nicely because she said they came here, they raped everything from us, then they went over there and they were living their lifestyle and they left us with virtually nothing. So we were forced to go over there to see if we could make a living so we could come back here to make it better for our offspring. That sums it up, you know.
And we have to look at what do we mean by better for our offspring when these people come here.
That's it.
When these people come here, it ain't that they're going to be giving away the millions and billions, you know. You could see just from the taxation stuff, concessions that they want, that they want to have their cake and eat it, okay? And so we have to ask, how do we expect? Let's assume that the project continues as is, because quite honestly, I just don't see it happening. I see a scale-back project.
I don't see it happening.
I see a scale-back project.
And I'm glad you made that statement because let me tell you, I look at the Prime Minister, right, and I kind of feel for him. If you look at the Prime Minister, you could see it's like when Obama went in, he had all his good black hair, and then you see in a quick time his hair turned gray, and he look at our Prime Minister. He's stressed, you know.
Well,
and
you sign up for that, you know.
Huh?
Leadership ain't easy.
You sign up for that, Quinn.
Boy.
You sign up for that.
Yeah, but
this
thing is a hard thing. Yeah,
but at the same time, Quinn, you can do the right thing.
I agree.
Okay? What I think is the problem here is that they've tried to do business as usual, politics as usual, the same old ideas, nothing really fresh. You know, they're not trying to do things differently, and of course you're going to end up with the same result. Okay, you can't tell me that you can't negotiate with investors on behalf of your people rather than just accept their ideas. You come up with a vision of what you want the Federation to look like, okay? We certainly want it in such a way that people who are in control now, which is us, I'm talking us as a populace, remain in control. We do not want to see that to no outsider.
And that, Mr.
Otherwise, what's the point of being independent and saying that we're...
And that statement, Mr. McMahon, is the salient point. We do not want development at the cost of losing our own autonomy.
Right.
You come in and you're speaking about everybody else's autonomy. What about ours?
True. What is progress?
There might be a ray of hope.
At the expense of us losing our freedom.
Sovereignty. What is progress if it comes at the cost of our sovereignty?
Yeah.
Well, they are claiming that it's not a loss of sovereignty. I think they have a very limited view of what sovereignty is. Okay? Sovereignty is not just a flag and an anthem and beating your chest and say you're patriotic and you're from St. Kitts and Nevis, right? Sovereignty is about controlling your own destiny.
That's it.
To use their term.
So that is why
that is interesting
that
they use that term.
But that is why when I saw the name Destiny, I was very agitated because what they're purporting is they are the one who will decide our destiny. The audacity of you to come to our country and be so, so arrogant.
Yeah.
that you would name your whatever destiny.
And
I mean, come on.
And the thing is, in some cases, they're not even hiding what they're about.
No.
That's the problem for me. You can advertise. You don't see. Well, I've never seen an ad for CBI for citizenship saying that, well, in 2 years you can vote. Right? That is not the attraction for most people under the CBI. It's a passport and the ability to travel. A lot of them ain't interested in here.
Yeah.
Okay? But these people are apparently putting that in their ad.
Yeah.
Okay? And that, to me, is a statement of intent. It's telling you, well, 10,000 of us, in 2 years we can vote. We essentially, and we have money, we essentially can take over the country.
Yeah.
You've got to be looking at things. I know it's an extreme scenario,
But Mr. McMahon, don't you think that is our biggest disappointment, that those who are supposed to be our leaders don't seem to see this, don't seem to see the obvious?
To be quite honest, I am not sure that they don't see it, right? I am convinced that they don't regard it as important. They're not. There's no ideological commitment to the country in terms of they don't look at the historical context. What they're seeing is, like I said, the places they go. As far as they're concerned, they want to be like them, as opposed to those esoteric things like pride and being a proud citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
You're always able to say that we control our foreign, whether it's foreign policy or economic policy and those things. They're not interested in that. What to them, what they see as success is a lot of people working, never mind it's for somebody else. Us thriving, our GDP figures and standard of living.
But don't put our in there, because you should say the GDP figures rising, but it won't be our GDP figures. It would be theirs.
That's true. That's true. I remember at one point Antigua had some really good GDP figures, and when I mentioned that to an Antiguan, he said, "Yeah, because a lot of rich people live among us."
You see,
you know. So you got to look at things like that, but they're not looking at things like that, which I consider unfortunate.
Yeah.
There may be a ray of hope in the sense that the Prime Minister said that give us ways to tighten the bill. Well, I think we should take that seriously, even if he doesn't do it, even if he doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
And actually suggest that things go in the bill that will prevent the kind of scenarios that we just talk about that we don't want.
Yeah.
Okay?
But it's also up to him too, because I think I would want to believe that the Prime Minister is now realizing that he has been taken down a part, maybe because he was perhaps naive or whatever. But I honestly don't feel that this was his decision in the first place. I believe that people who were there before...
I think Mark had too much influence.
Yeah, I believe certain people who were there before, he sort of leaned to them, and this is what he finds himself in right now.
Hey, Quinn, real quickly, let me just something real quick.
Hold on, Mr. McMahon. Go ahead, Burl.
Yeah, well, nobody's thinking about the social implications. The Premier said that these persons are not going to just be confined to the enclave. They'll be able to venture out. But we've seen in Jamaica where we have a lot of Chinese Jamaicans, Japanese Jamaicans, Indian Jamaicans. When these people start mingle with the general public, what's going to happen?
But you can't. But you can't stop them, Burl. If
That's something you cannot stop. Yes.
yes,
you cannot
if
stop
an
it.
enclave come,
Exactly.
yes, it is the
Yes.
only difference with this thing. Let's be hypothetical. Let's say the enclave come. Within the proximity of the enclave, they have autonomy. But you cannot stop them from coming out and moving
venturing
around and
outside. Yes, you
mingling and
can.
buying
Exactly.
and
You can.
you know, it is only in their proximity that they have autonomy. Because remember,
and Brantley made that point. That,
Yeah.
Well, we don't want them to stay in there anyway.
Yeah.
Because,
Right, yeah, he made
I
that
mean, it's
point,
like
yes,
it's like
he sure did.
it's
Yeah.
like saying that if somebody comes to Four Seasons, we don't want them to go outside and experience. You know, right. And as soon as it starts. And of course you can't prevent them from doing that. I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think we're going to be able to just go inside there.
but that is what I just said. Within the proximity of their enclave, they have all the rules and the say. And that is the problem. Anyway, I want to take a commercial break.
Let me ask a quick question before you go, man. The fact that the persons that's coming into that enclave, right? If they have an option not to become St. Kitts Nevis citizens, right? How are we going to monitor these persons if they're not citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis? Because we see only the OECS citizens have free movement in and out of our country. So if they're not from the OECS and they're not St. Kitts Nevis citizens, how are they going to be regulated?
Well,
Are they
they
going
have
to just be
at
inside
least
the
resident
enclave
status.
and they're going to be able to stay there forever? I
Look,
mean, is there going to be any immigration policy to limit them?
This thing is so complicated, and I am not one who knows. My scope doesn't go into that. That will have to be individuals who are versed in the legal aspects of migration and immigration and status of rights of individuals within given societies. I'm limited in that scope, so I won't even try to venture there. But what in a nutshell, what it is saying is that this is too broad and it is too blurred, as the KC said, for us to be encouraging it. We should just leave it alone.
And I agree.
And Quinn,
yeah,
we should I think give more leeway for the experts, like in our country, to draft something, whether alternative or different, so that there are other options. Okay, because from the looks of things, if that does not happen, they're going to go with what they have. And I think that would be the travesty, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Great discussion. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me take that bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
The holidays just got a whole lot brighter with the new $5 Holiday Stash scratch ticket. It's easy to play, packed with $1,000 prizes and many chances for you to win big this holiday season. So go ahead, treat yourself, spread some cheer, and stack some cash. Play Holiday Stash today at Caribbean Lottery agents and vending machines island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Please play responsibly.
Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're hear back on Island Sea. And I know this is our eventual. We keep talking about the digital IDs, etc., etc. And I heard about this, and I said I was gonna call Greg in on this one because I know it deals a lot with the Bible. I'm trying to find it here. And then I saw something as well in Barbados where this young man is challenging Miss Motley concerning talking about the IDs as well. But I'm trying to find the other one because she was saying she didn't say that and he must put up. And he put up, and in hindsight, she did say what she said. So I'm trying to find the one re Guyana, but this one. Here we go. We have cards for citizens, and we have cards for non-citizens. And what we will do is for the persons who are in Guyana illegally, they will be given a grace period in which to come to register and have this EID card. This card, you will not be able to do anything, perform any, access any services, banking without this EID card for non-citizens. And they will be given a grace period. After that grace period is expired and you do not register and have an EID card, you will be taken out of the country and other sanctions will be implemented. That is the policy. Cards for citizens. So this digital transformation that all these countries are talking about, and these cards, that proves that if we don't have these cards, then we won't be able to do business. And
well, you see, and these are things that we weren't aware of. So as it moves along, we're seeing certain things happening. We thought that it was just you travel here and you could, and you go vice versa, back and forth, and because we are a proximity that have the same history. So why the discrimination? So, I mean, I don't know. But this is where we don't get the full picture of what these people intend.
But all these digital ID cards that we're talking about, I think all of that. Remember, this card would allow us to do business in our countries,
When you say do business, what you mean? Like
banks, we go to the hospitals, we go to various establishments, we have to show these new ID cards that are coming on stream.
Okay. Well, so if I'm getting it correctly, it's saying that if I come into your country, I bring this card that says everything about me and gives the information that if I have to go to the hospital or to the banking system and so on and so forth, rather than having to refer back to my home country for the information, there's enough information on this card that I can do business within your proximity. Is that what it's saying?
No.
Well,
remember,
I'm not
all the
understanding
countries are going digital with the digital ID
Yes,
cards.
I understand
Okay.
that part. But so what does the digital card allow me to do or not allow me to do?
Business in general.
So that is what I'm saying. That is what I was asking. Is
Let
it
me
that
play it again
business?
so you can understand
No,
what
I heard that.
Uh-huh.
That isn't vague. That isn't clear in itself. That is
not
why
clear?
no. That is why I'm asking the question, because the question is, if I come into your country, right? This is what I'm asking, because I want it to be clear. If I come into your country, when you give me this card that allows me to do business and so forth, it then means that on that card has the information that says, well, he was born such and so forth, he was educated such and so forth, he has a qualification of such and so forth, my credentials, so that I can do business there. Okay. So if you don't give me that card, I can't do business there.
If you don't have that card, that too.
So
I can't do business.
So what I was saying is, from my understanding, I would kind of grasp where I would need that. Because if I come, for instance, let's say I come and I don't have a card and there's no card, I get knocked down in the road. Nobody knows who I am. You understand? But if I get knocked down in the road, because I have that card, they can refer and see my whole history. That is what I'm saying. That is what I understand it to be. But before hearing that, I didn't know you were expected that. I thought that it was just that you would come and you would go back and forth and for instance, if they had needed some information from me in Guyana, because of the savvy of the technical world, they would be able to refer back here and get it and so forth. But this makes it easier because you now have something on you, on your person, that gives a history of you, the individual. Okay? So, yeah, I understand that.
But with all of us, with the countries growing digitally, that's what I was getting at. Won't all of us have to have the same cards to do business in our varying countries?
Well, to some extent we do, because when I go to do my banking, I have to use my bank card. When I go to do shopping, I have a Hosford Value Mart card. You understand? But if an individual comes here, they won't have those things. So this is where they would need, something
Yeah,
to.
but aren't we gonna have our national ID card digitalized as well? Because
I would assume so,
most
because
of the countries are heading there.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. That is understood, because you don't want to have to be going back to books and paperwork and that kind of stuff. You want to be able to just punch in something and you see the information there. Quick access then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, caller.
Hello, caller. You're live on Island T.
Yes, good morning, good morning. Good morning again, guys. First, let me complain before I get to my point. Burl, stay on the line. Quinn, how you allow Burl to stay on the line and listen to Mr. McMahon? Mr. McMahon is very winded. Burl had already made his point, and he stay on the line and listen. He could have gone off the line because he hold up the line. You know how much time I call him Burl on the line just there listening to Mr. McMahon talking?
Yeah, but Burl had his time to say. At one point, I let Burl speak, and then Burl said, when he was finished, he said, "Now I will listen to Mr. McMahon."
And
So
he
we went
listened
back
on
to
the line. He didn't hang up. He stayed on the line and listened.
Yeah, but that is his choice.
Yeah, but Queen, he holding up the line. He could have listened offline. And
Okay, I
called back
catch
if
you.
he had
I
something
catch you.
to
Burl.
So you got to be considerate.
Yeah, Burl, you hear that? So her complaint has been filed and documented.
Point. Okay, now. Now, let's go back to what y'all were talking about, this thing with Mark. I mean, Mark really was addressing the big BB, OB, my uncle.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, like, me and Obi used to clash over Mark because I was a big supporter of Mark. And he used to be a supporter of Mark, too. And then he used to argue all the time on computer about Mark because I feel like sometimes he was, unmarked like a bed bug.
Yeah.
So we used to have it out of it, but his address really was to the big BB.
Okay.
And okay, now Mark went on to talk about racists and what's not. Right now, right, Quint, in Mexico, the people there are kicking up. The people said no to the nomads. They said they had enough of the nomads because they come in the country, build up whatever, and they realize while the nomads are there, the Mexican lives are getting harder. Things are too expensive. Rent is getting expensive. This is getting expensive. So the people decide to kick up and they're turning over the nomad stuff and telling them, get out.
Yeah.
So are they racist?
No, but you see, what certain individuals in positions of leadership don't seem to understand, as Mr. McMahon so eloquently put it, we want development, but not at the expense of our own rights and our own identity.
Exactly, because Mr. McMahon was talking about, I think they were talking about they come in and Mark talk about they're not gonna just stay into their little city where they're gonna create. They're gonna come out into our establishment, our area. But the point is, it's not so much they're gonna come out. It's can you go in?
Yeah.
That's the big issue. Can the citizens go in? I mean, and now the workers will be able to go in, but can you go in and do as you like in there? You cannot because they would have autonomy.
Yeah.
And Cortensia, to your last thing, what you just played. Cortensia, this is the test run for the mark of the beast.
Yep.
Remember the word of God says that you're gonna have to take a chip either in your forehead or in your hand.
Yep.
So this digital system what they're setting up, this is a test run for the mark of the beast.
I figured
People
that.
get ready. A lot of people don't like to hear it, but Jesus is coming back, and he's getting ready to crack the sky, and we don't know when. So it behooves us to be ready.
Okay.
For God I live, for God I die. Jesus is the answer for the world today, people. Hold on there. Hubby wants to say something. I don't know what he wants to say.
Go ahead, Hobby.
I apologize. I was listening to CNBC. I tried to get clear attention to it about a few weeks ago, and they was talking about these billionaires who is trying to buy land in the Caribbean to set up residence, right? Billionaires. They didn't call any country name. They said the Caribbean. And what the analysis, what the person was saying is that what they're doing is that they're buying these lands, buying these properties, setting up the properties, sell them to billionaires only. And what they do is that they want to do experiment, but they don't want to do it in a country where they're going to be harassed. So they want to set up their own laws and do this kind of experiments that they're working on. But because they can't do it in certain countries because they got to go by, they can't do it in Europe, they can't do it in the US. So they go down to the Caribbean, they didn't call any name, they didn't call any island name. So they go down to the Caribbean, they buy these properties up, set them up as a government within a government, and they could run these experiments that they want to do. This was on NBC. I listen to NBC every day.
NBC, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember. It was a few weeks ago. I tried to get clear attention, but she wasn't really paying me no mind. So I had to, try to explain the best I can to her what I was saying. And I sorry I did not put the date down and the time when it was on so that you could have go back and listen to it. But it was on NBC.
But
they were
I'll
talking
look
about
for it.
these rich people go buy properties in other people's country, and that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. You got to be very wary because when they left, we were supposed to self-destruct. Within their minds, they said it, they touted it in their literature that black people were not able to make informed decisions, they were not able to control themselves.
Nice.
That is why they put the lash on our backs during the duration of slavery. And then they saw that we had leaders then who pulled us to the point where we are. Unfortunately, it seems that we have leaders now who wants to give it back to them. You understand? And we as a people are saying, no, we will not tolerate that. Hello, caller?
Yes, hello, it's me again. Yes. First of all, I'd like to say, let me say this. In Malachi chapter 2, verse 14, right? We are told that the woman is made the wife of the man because of the man covenant, not because of the church covenant, the government covenant, the priest covenant, the judge covenant, but because of the man's covenant. And not only that, Adam set the model as when he made the covenant with Eve. So, like I said, that has been the Bible where the woman is made the wife of the man by the man's covenant, according to Malachi chapter 2, verse 14, and as set in the Garden of Eden by Adam's example with his covenant with Eve. That's number one. Number two, try to be as quick as possible. You remember yesterday I said that government, based upon the Bible, if we follow God's way, we should not be making covenants, agreements, pacts, and so with other nations. That was taken from Exodus chapter 34, verse 12. And lastly, I would like to say this. This thing with the land issue, the SSD issue.
You're going to have to be brief because we're right on spot on 10 o'clock, so cut it as quickly as possible because the host for the next program is already here.
Yeah, very brief. These SSV issues, Christopher Faber issue, and all these land issues, like I've said over years, and I'm going to say it again, that the scripture say if we don't obey the Bible, we will be made the tail and not the head, and this is just the outline of the Bible teachings, which I've been saying over the years on WinFM and so on. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The following is a previously aired broadcast.
If you live in low-lying areas, be aware of the possibility of tsunamis immediately after an earthquake. A strong earthquake lasting 20 seconds or more is a natural tsunami warning. Do not wait for an official warning. Gather your family members and evacuate immediately after the shaking stops. Don't delay. A tsunami could occur within minutes.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.